If I trying to get home to my Wi-Fi. Sorry, got in and out. I don't know if it's my phone or your phone freezing. Get back here.
Hold on. Hey, this is fun. Hey, am I the only one that can't hear anything on here, or is he trying to get his thing fixed?
I can't hear anything either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't hear anything either.
All
I
of
didn't
us.
know if I was tripping or what. I'm like, what is going on?
Mm-mm.
Oh, there
Okay.
he is.
How's everybody doing
Yeah,
today?
yeah, I'm
What's
good.
going on,
How's
everybody?
everyone?
Hey, can you
Doing
guys hear
good.
me?
Can now.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Is Caroline is here, right?
Yeah, Carolina's here.
Okay. I'm getting no reception where I'm at, and I'm walking around like an idiot in the parking lot trying to figure this out. The Wi-Fi inside this place doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down here.
Um. Oh, fucking A. All right, Jeremy, can you hear me?
I can
Wherever
hear
you're
you.
standing right now seems to be working. So just like put an antenna on your head and you're
I
good.
know. Uh,
Yeah, no, I
so
just heard you.
all right. Well, here's the deal. I'm just gonna Carolina, just get into it. I don't know if mine's gonna work, so I might drop out. But do your thing. All right.
Hey guys, my name's Carolina. I am grateful to be here. I don't know, I guess raise your hand if you were at I don't know if this is the same group that heard me give my spiel last time. If this is your first time, just put a number one. Okay, cool. Awesome. So if you were or if you are returning, grateful to have you. I wanted to give you a little insight of where I'm coming from. If we could just like take a collective breath wherever we are, if you're driving, like, yes, breathe, but don't close your eyes. And if you'd like to close your eyes, feel welcome to, but I'm just gonna settle in and just step into this with kind of a clean slate here. So if you can feel into your breath, just notice where the breath is going to. For most of us, it kind of just rises up and down in the top of our chest. And if that's you, that's okay. So take a couple just shallow breaths there, up and down at the top of your chest. And again, if it's accessible to you, I invite you to close your eyes and start to breathe in a little bit deeper. Imagine your rib cage are like these two hands that are wrapping around your lungs and protecting your heart. So as you inhale, those hands open out wide, the fingers spread out wide, and you feel your chest press out forward back into the sides, and then hold at your top of the breath for just one moment. Open mouth and really exhale, push all that air out. And feel those hands almost pull in towards one another. We're going to take a couple more like that. Inhale, feel those hands press out wide. The ribs start to expand out as the lungs fill up. Hold at the top. Open mouth, exhale. And then one more time, inhale deeply. Biggest one you've taken all day. Hold at the top. Maybe you have more air, take it in. Big mouth, open mouth, exhale. Very nice. And then just return back to your normal breath. So I am a movement facilitator. I do a lot of one-on-one training, primarily with older clients. And kind of the whole process that led me to here has just always been my enthusiasm for movement. Ever since I was very little, my first job was at a gym. So it kind of, I dipped my toes right into it. It came very naturally to me. But I noticed that there was a huge disconnect. At some point, I was competing a lot. Actually, JR and I were in a lot of similar circles in the CrossFit world and whatnot. I had just a lot of turmoil in my life, as I'm sure most of you can relate to, just whether it was, a childhood upbringing. I just didn't really feel safe and didn't feel trustworthy towards my guardians who were raising me. And when I was living on my own I was kicked out of the house at 18 and I was living on my own. I went through a really terrible breakup and kind of found myself like, what's the fucking point? What's the point? If there's a God out there, God's not working on my side. So I'm just going to kind of fuck everything that I grew up with. I was raised super, super devout Catholic, but it just seemed very hypocritical from the standards that I was raised in, the environment that I was raised in. So I tested those boundaries and I really just said, fuck it, and went off the deep end and hit rock bottom a handful of times. And I will say that it could have been a lot worse. I could have not been here today. A lot of terrible things could have happened. But long story short, I am grateful for God that I am present, alive, and well today. And I have a good head on my shoulders. And I used all of those experiences to get me to where I am today. And I'm very grateful that I'm given this platform to share this little story of mine, because for how dark and how hopeless and loss of sight that I felt at that time in my life, the fact that I'm able to bring my life is like this now, and you don't have to know anything about me to just like trust the fact that my life is significantly better on this side. I want to be that little that little drop of hope for somebody that's maybe going through it and is in hopelessness and doesn't really know how to get out of their patterns, these consistent patterns that we put ourselves in, and this energy that we attract that kind of brings about just, any type of energies or behaviors that keep us in this cycle of maybe victimhood or falling flat on our face or hitting rock bottom time and time again. So part of that journey of stepping out of it is recognizing that there is a higher power, and I will do my best to follow what my own personal convictions are. And no one's convictions, not everyone can, follow the same convictions. It's a personal journey with that power within you, with creator within you. And part of that has been taking these trainings to learn more about movement. Movement really took me out of my depressive episodes and really on the edge of like wanting to off myself. And it was through movement that I was able to find some sort of purpose. And I was moving and competing a lot, and I realized that I kept hurting myself. I was still in this ego mindset. Fast forward, I found yoga and it all kind of shifted for me. But the yoga that I was doing was really intense. It was almost like CrossFit yoga, just like we're moving through pose after pose. And there still wasn't this integration of mindfulness. So when I stepped in a little bit further and delve into the philosophy of yoga and the purpose of what this class was about, they take you through all these movements. So then at the very, very end, they put you into what's called Shavasana. Has anyone taken a yoga class? Like if you're up, just like put a number 1 up again. And if you haven't taken a yoga class, that's okay. So at the very end of class, they call it like adult nap time, but it's called Shavasana or corpse pose. And the creators of yoga, these gurus, these ancient gurus centuries ago, knew that us as humans are inevitable to this monkey mind, is what they call it, where our thoughts will just keep on circulating, and this inner critic, this inner voice will keep telling us things that we probably can't do because it reflects on what we already know based on your upbringing, your experiences, all of these accumulations of events that have created you to who you really are today. Maybe you have a sibling and both of you were raised in the same household and both of you have very different personalities and mindsets of what life is. So it could be same, but different. So that's all personal to you. And it's based off of your own biochemistry, everything, your mindset, all of it. So after taking you through all of these poses, these very rigorous poses, they put you in corpse pose, which is just laying down and just resting there. And your only purpose is just to be. And the idea is to physically work your body to the point where you're craving just simply being. And we're really good at being human doers and not really good at being human beings, where we get to just experience life and observe life. We want to compartmentalize things or put judgment on things. And we do that mostly with ourselves. And that's how this inner critic, this inner voice gets developed and enabled, because it protects us in a sense. Our body will do anything absolutely possible to find the easiest outcome, the path of least resistance. That goes physically. I specialize in corrective exercise, mainly with clients 65 plus. So I've seen bodies move in these patterns that are not conducive to long-term, strength or vitality, but our bodies will do it and our minds will do it tenfold, because nothing's observing your mind. Your therapist, you can tell your therapist anything. You can bullshit your therapist. I've done that plenty of times. But only you can observe your mind, and only God knows your heart. So it's this really deep connection between mind, body, and spirit. So past the yoga philosophy, I learned more about breath, about meditation, and about different forms of meditation. And it was very challenging to silence the mind or even know what I'm supposed to be thinking about. So one of the pro tips I'll share with you is that meditation is actually not silencing anything. It's not about sitting down like a Buddha and quieting everything. It's actually simply about being in the present. And if in the present, your mind is wandering about what emails you have to respond to, who you're going to hang out with, what you're going to have for dinner later, who's talking about what and who's taking care of your child and what, like those are all things that get to be reflected on and observed during your designated time of meditation. Another cool thing that I found about meditation is that anything can be meditation. Walking can be meditation. Washing your dishes can be meditation. Movement can be meditation. And maybe a lot of you have a movement practice already where you're going to the gym or you're doing something consistent, going for a walk, walking your dog. And I want you to, when you're in those types of spaces, or even like filling your dishwasher, when you're in those types of spaces, allow yourself to be just in that space. I stopped bringing my phone with me when I walk my dogs. I have 2 dogs and I have to walk them separate. So it's about 30 minutes, sometimes an hour of just me and my dogs. And I'm there and I'm very intuitive and I like in tune with their behaviors, their feelings. They're also rescue dogs. So they have some behavioral stuff going on. And I want to be a better human to my dog. So that requires being present and aware and understanding what triggers them. And that's just being present, observing. And if your mind starts to wander, think about, okay, is that conducive to the action that you're currently in that moment? The next process or the next layer to your meditation practice is setting an intention. So all of us are really busy. We only have 24 hours in the day. I don't have 15 minutes, an hour to sit around like a Buddha and think about my thoughts. I've got a lot to do. But if I designate my washing the dishes time, I have a routine every night. I close the house. So I like do the dishes and I'm like, this is my intention. I want to just observe my thoughts. My intention is to be present and reflect on my day and observe my thoughts. So there I go, washing the dishes, putting them all away. And I start to think like, oh, I wonder what else is on the Epstein files. Let me grab my phone. Boom. I already just took myself out of the present moment. That's like a thought that came through my head that pulled me away from my intention. I observed that as I was picking up my phone, I recognized that, and now I get to commit to myself. I get to hold a standard to myself and say, hey, my intention was, I want to just reflect. I acknowledge that I'm curious about something else, but right now is not that designated time. So I'm going to put my phone down and I'm going to keep washing these dishes. And that was just a thought. And I'm allowed to have thoughts. I don't always have to act on those thoughts. And coming out, while I was in sobriety, like that was the biggest action I had to do. Was I have a thought, I want to do something. I think it's going to be really good. I know what consequences are going to arise. So I'm going to commit to myself and choose not to. And that just gets to be a muscle that you work. For all of my gym bros, gym girlies out there, you know that that's a really intense muscle. If you want to reach hypertrophy, you're going to have to kind of get yourself to the brink of failure before you can see the gains. And sometimes overcoming our mental distortion about what we can do and what we can't do is working the same muscle, but it's really only you that gets to see the gains in that moment. And then as you progress, as you grow, that mental strength and overcoming the obstacles of wanting to do something that you know is going to be destructive to your overall well-being. And maybe you have goals that are bigger. Maybe you have families that are counting on you. And you think about, is this going to take me one step closer to where I want to go, or will it take me one step further away? That's really all meditation intention setting is when you're active in that process. I discovered another form of meditation that I really, really love, especially for someone who has ADHD, who's so busy, who just like the monkey mind is just like ongoing. And that's sound and vibration meditation, sound healing. And sound healing, it has a lot of science backed by it. We are all energy entities, and there's a frequency that comes off of us. And there's frequency that comes off of anything. My voice is holding a frequency. The ding on your phone is holding a frequency. Your computer monitor is holding a frequency. And we're influenced by all of these frequencies constantly on a daily basis. And I don't know if any of you have experienced this when you walk into a room where you're about to meet new people or you're in a group setting, you kind of get like a vibe. You're like, oh man, I like these people. You guys are cool. I like it. We vibe together. We're like in flow. Or other times you walk into a space, you walk into a group, you have a conversation with someone, and then all of a sudden you're like, you feel like, oh, like I call it like the black cat, like you want to rear. Like, I don't think I like that. I don't think I like your vibe. I don't think I like where you're coming from, or like how you're coming at me. And that's very real. And that gets to be part of your intuitive experience with yourself, your own connection with yourself. And listen to that, because that's part of discernment. And your meditation practice gets you closer and closer to discernment. Hey, these are the people that are going to support me and they're real and they're true. Or these are the people that are like, full of shit and they're going to manipulate me any one way or another. They're going to try to get me to do something that I've already set my boundary and don't want to do. So I brought one bowl here with me so I can share a little bit in case you have never experienced it. And the cool thing about sound meditation is while your mind is going, it's allowed to go. But your brain gets to be in the state where it has something else to think about and follow. And it's the sounds and the vibrations off of these instruments. This is a crystal sound bowl tuned to the C note. It's going to be a little deeper. And the C note is connected with your root chakra. That's a whole other story and lesson with the chakra system. And ultimately, the only thing you have to acknowledge is that we are energetic beings and we are influenced by other energies, and we ourselves can influence other energies. And so, how do you want to show up is a big factor of how you show up in here with yourself. And that gets to be part of your meditation practice. So I'll play this for a little while. And if you're in a space where you can sit back, relax, close your eyes, enjoy, I invite you to be there. And if not, you can just watch, listen, and be in it and experience it. So traditionally in a sound bath is what they call it. You're bathed with sound and vibrations. There are high frequencies, there are positive frequencies, let's call it, and there are lower frequencies or lower energetic frequencies. I mean, it's been kind of dark and gloomy the last couple of days. I don't know about you. Some people are more influenced by the seasons than others, but there's a reason why I live in South Florida. So there's a reason why everyone has moved to South Florida, is because the sunshine holds this higher frequency and it really activates a lot of positive energy. And the gloomy, the dark, the snow, you know, sometimes I love it when the weather matches my energy level. Sometimes gloomy and dark is nice, but these frequencies that affect us. When we step into a sound bath, you kind of lay down. It's a very cozy time. You're on your yoga mat. You bring a bolster, you bring a pillow, you bring a blanket, you bring a little eye mask. You're just meant to freaking be. And that's very nice for a society that is constantly on the go, and we have the next thing, the next appointment, the next thing, the next thing. We don't carve time aside usually to just be in our shit and be in our experience. And sometimes that experience is positive, sometimes it's negative, interpreted, right? That's all part of your own interpretation. It doesn't have to be either. It can just be neutral. You are the one that attaches positive or negative to it. So we set intention, you just relax, you take a few breaths like we did in the beginning, and you set an intention. One important thing that I'd like to share about intention setting, so for when you do this on your own, is say your intention like you already have it. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to be anxious. Your brain doesn't understand the negative. It just understands anxious. Delete, cancel. No, you're not. So what's the opposite of anxious? Fulfilled, at peace. So when you set an intention, instead of like at first it comes off as I don't want to be okay. So then you stop yourself. You're like, all right, well, what's the positive of that? I am at peace in my environment. I am at peace in my mind. My mind reflects calmness. So say affirmations in the present tense. So your brain can literally believe and start to create these neurochemical responses through the entire body. And as you're receiving the healing frequencies, the positive frequencies, the higher frequencies of the bowls and the vibrations, everything starts to attune and align itself. When something comes up that isn't aligned, like all of a sudden, I'll use myself for example, is that I embody calmness, and here I am in my meditation, and then I think about a coworker I don't really like, and I'm like, oh, that did not trigger calmness at all. So I acknowledge it. I don't tell myself, oh my God, I can't believe you thought about that. Now I'm anxious. And now that, and you're just like, I had a thought. And this person conveys this type of emotion in me, but I do not allow this person to hold power over my thoughts. They're not even freaking here. So you get to kind of be like your own observer and journal entry during this meditation practice, whatever it is that you choose. Walking meditation is perfect. You can find sound. I like to listen to this at night. I put it on YouTube. If you look up sound bowls for sleeping, there's like one guy that does all of them. He's really, really cool. And it's very calming. And these are like 8 hours, 12 hours long. So you can just play it, go to sleep, and it gets your mind to just follow the sounds instead of scrolling on your phone. And then like heightening our cortisol levels about, what's Erica Kirk up to these days? We don't need to know. We don't need to know. Or do we? I'm just kidding. That's not in line with my intention. All right, guys. So again, if you're in the space for it, I'm going to invite you to set an intention. I'll be playing for about 5 minutes or so. And it's just one bowl that I have here. So I'll just tap it. And if you have ear pods on, it might sound a little differently. So if it feels too intense for your ears, just turn the volume down, or maybe, you could turn me off for a little while. It's okay. All right, wherever you are, just go ahead and settle and get cozy. You can relax your shoulders. And if you're in that space to do so, go ahead and close your eyes, soften them. And just start to feel into the body for a moment here. If your feet are crossed, uncross your feet and ground your feet down onto the earth. Start to relax into the body by releasing the tension around your groin, relaxing your butt cheeks. Let your belly soften a little bit. Let those elbows hang heavy and your shoulders drop. Release the jaw and unfurl your eyebrows. Feel the ears hang a little heavier. And if you can, place your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly. And underneath your left hand is your heart beating. Can you take a moment to notice the pattern and feel into it? And you notice the ribs expand out wide as your lungs fill up with air. And then you can exhale out through the mouth. You just soften a little more. And then let your breath reach your belly as you inhale. And then let it all soften as you exhale. Take one more breath like that. Inhale, feeling the belly rise, the chest rise. And exhale. And if you feel comfortable, bring your palms to prayer and let your thumbs touch the heart space. And set an intention for your practice. This meditation practice as you explore a little more depthness of your mind, your body, and your spirit. Maybe this is a feeling that you would like to embody, a state of mind you would like to be in. Or maybe you simply want to just notice and experience. Say it like you're already doing it, like you're already that person. And we seal that intention with one more cleansing breath in. And full breath out. And keeping your eyes closed. You can relax your arms down. And just be present. Without changing much. Simply observe. Feeling into your toes, maybe wiggle them a little. And feel the energy rise up the shin bones towards your knees. And let your observation rise up the thighs and around your hips, around the torso, across the navel space. And watch the energy rise up the spine, hug around your ribs, reach across the collarbones, down the backs of your arms, around the creases of your elbows, towards your wrists, and then each and every finger as you tap them with your thumb. And let that awareness rise back up the arm bones, across the back side of your shoulders, lengthen through the neck, wrap around your throat, wrap around your jawline, reaching your earlobes to the cheekbones. Notice the air coming out of your nostrils as it reaches the top lip, rising up the nose and centering at your forehead between your brow. And feel your energy and your intention reach over the crown of your head and then pour down the entire body. As you take a deep breath in and full breath out. And take your time, if your eyes were closed, to just flutter them open. And so if you get the advantage to find a sound bath, it is one of my favorite forms of meditation because it just sounds so lovely. But that's my biased opinion. Maybe it sounded different for you. There's also several instruments involved. And that's a good first step towards your meditation practice. But ultimately, you can do all of that with yourself and your breath. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Really hope you enjoyed that.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've been given multiple sound bowls for like as gifts. I have a couple copper ones and then a glass one, but I don't know how to figure out the frequency. Is there any way to figure that out? I usually just do whatever resonates with me, at the time, because they're different sizes and material.
Huh. That's a good question. So I don't believe the one that you have is brass. I believe they're Tibetan bowls, so it kind of looks like this, made out of different
Yes.
different metals.
Yeah.
These are actually multiple metals, about 5 metals, hand molded into or banged into a bowl. And
Okay.
so the easiest way to find out is if you have like a tuner, you can kind of hit your crystal bowl with a mallet. I have a crystal silicone mallet, and you'll be able to, with the tuner, kind of find what note it is. With the Tibetan bowls, these are a little bit different in the sense that they don't really hold one note because they're made out of different materials, and they need a different type of mallet. So this is like a gong mallet, and it's like a little more vibrational. My best suggestion would be really go by how you feel when you play them.
Yeah.
When it's kind of like back to that vibe thing, when you walk into a room and you're like, ooh, not vibing with this environment, your music vibration and notes do very similar things. There's resonance and there's dissonance. So if I were to play two bowls together or two notes together that aren't really supposed to be played together, you'll hear that. And dissonance is okay. Dissonance breaks up type materials. It breaks up constriction and kind of, you're allowed to recognize it and say like, all right, that's not vibing with me, or that's not sitting well, and you get to adjust and change. But I also say that like in sound baths, like you can be there with your best friend, and your best friend might have received a whole different experience than you did based off of what energy both of you are holding at that time.
Right.
So there could be dissonance based off of just some blockages. Again, it's not good or bad, it just is. So to observe that. But if you have your own bowls, that's amazing. Lay them out. Maybe get a little music tuner if you want to like know what you have. And then just play them and have fun with it, and just like have this relationship with like hearing and feeling and that gets you in the present moment ultimately. So,
yeah.
thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
So I know you said to look up the YouTube, the sound bathing videos, or
Yeah.
they help with sleep. Um, I I have trouble sleeping, so I do like guided meditations, and some of them help, some of them are like, but would you recommend that? Would you recommend that for sleep, the guided or the sound bath?
Yes. So the guy that I follow is called Sleeping Vibrations.
Let me write this down.
He's on my iPad every night. And it's really relaxing. The other type of meditation that might help, I haven't really found a good YouTuber to do it. But the other type of meditation is called Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a full body scan, a full body scan. So I did a little bit of that with you during our meditation. But long story short, your right brain hemisphere controls the left side of your body. Your left brain hemisphere controls the right side of your body. So during a yoga nidra meditation, and the great thing about it is that you're being prompted to think about certain things. So it's like, okay, great, I can listen to this, feel connected to my body. And you don't, because you're in the present moment, you don't have much time to think of worry or think about your inner critic or anything else that's going on. So it gets you into that space. So your full body scan will start with the entire body, and then it'll go with one side of your body, take it down the other side of the body, repeat, bring it up the other side of the body, down the other side of the body. In the middle, there's a little journey or experience. By that time, most people are already sleeping. But then we reconnect and do that full body scan again. And the science behind that is that when you're thinking about certain parts of your body, it triggers one side of your brain. Then when we do the full body scan together, it almost unifies and unites that whole brainwave state and neuro brain response to your body. So it's really, there is a lot of science that backs that. And it's just a really pleasant way to feel connected to your body, to your intention, and stay present. Yeah. So good
That's
question.
awesome.
Yeah.
So by like a full body scan, going through that, you mean you run through like each part starting from your feet, or do you start from your head? Feet are
They actually start from their feet first. Yep, the
okay.
feet, and
And
then
then you
rise up
you
to the head.
run, because I think I've done a guided meditation kind of like that where they've started years ago when I went to a rehab. I think they did something like that.
That's cool. I also want to empower all you guys to like know that you can do it yourself. You know, you have a brain and you have a body, and you know,
Hmm.
like your big toe, your ankle, like you don't. It is nice to have a guide, but if you're like laying in bed or feeling insomniac or feeling anxious, give yourself that moment. The deep breaths are really, really life changing. One other thing I missed during our deep breathing was most people breathe using the top 10% of their lung capacity. And that is just, again, our bodies will do anything possible to take the path of least resistance. If we don't have to fill our lungs all the way at the bottom, it won't. So then what happens is that we kind of develop this like cardiovascular atrophy. And so if you were getting chased by zombies right now, you know, not many people will make it. Like there's just like shallow breathing. So kind of practicing that deep, deep breathing. Another thing that happens when we start to feel panic or our fight or flight response. I used to have panic disorder, and it would actually be very terrible where I would be driving and then have a panic attack. So that's not cool. So I had to learn how to breathe deeper. And the great thing is that most of, I don't know your medical history, I don't have to, but I assume everyone kind of looks fairly healthy, that you have two lungs and two nostrils. So your capacity to breathe deeper to the bottom of the lungs is there. It just requires intentionality. Your lungs are also, they expand out. So you have these muscles around your rib cage. Your serratus anterior is a big one. And your pec minor, they're all like attached to your ribs, and they can really move based off of how your lungs expand. So practicing that as part of, you know, your own physical training, but it's really your mental, your emotional, your spiritual training as well. So. I don't know if JR is still on here or if you guys have any other questions. I hope that uh, you took something out of what I got to say. If it was anything little, like especially the intention setting, notice what the little inner critic says in your head and say it in the present tense, or just like recognize like, oh, okay, wow, you're totally like gaslighting me. Like your inner critic's going to gaslight you into thinking that you can't do things, because it would rather just sit at home and just like doom scroll, because it's quick dopamine release. And you're meant for so much greater, and like you're meant for so much more. You have purpose and you have drive, and sometimes it's just kind of getting yourself out of that hole and getting unstuck to recognize that for yourself. And it's only you that can really do it. You get to have a support system like JR, like this group. You get to support each other in lifting each other up. But ultimately, only you and your higher power and God can get you to really embody and believe that your purpose is greater. So I hope that was good for you guys. Thank you so much for listening, tuning in.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks. I was sorry I was walking. I got to walk back from the gym. And yeah, I got to be over here in the rehab by a certain time or whatever. But it sucked because right when I got to the Wi-Fi at the VA, like you started doing the bowl and then it like froze and then I couldn't hear and I missed the whole thing. So
Dang.
I swear, I was like, what is going
I
on?
think
I
he
was
has this
trying to.
recorded. So just
Oh,
fast forward.
perfect.
Yeah, just ask him for the recording and then fast
Okay.
forward, and it's like a little something. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That way I can sit down and do it because I missed that
Yeah.
whole thing and I was trying to rush and all that. But thank you so much for
No
everything.
worries. And then again, that one YouTuber, hold on, I wonder if I lost him again. I just do sound baths, healing sleep. It's sleeping vibrations. He's dope. He
Yeah, I
has
was
a
about to
chat
say I wrote
room
it
too.
down. If you didn't remember it, I have it.
Yeah. There
All
you go.
right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
thank
for
you.
everything.
Yeah, of
Appreciate it.
course. Thank you. Have a great night, guys. Good luck. I'm praying for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.